Hi all. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so honored to be here. The first things I want to say is I am the daughter of immigrants on my father's side. We came over on Ellis Island and we came over as Andersen, but our names, we have no idea what our original names were. But we were given a Scandinavian kind of blank name, Andersen. But we have an SEN to make us Norwegian or other than Scandinavia, Switzerland or whatever. Anyway, and then my mom's from Australia. So anyway, this self-portrait is a reflection of my spinal cord injury that affected the left side of my body when I was in my teens. And my nervous system, I had head trauma, I had broken bones, I had massive amounts of scar tissue and still do. And the reasons leading to this accident include current and ancestral patterns. It's a prayer of gratitude to all the therapeutic and emotional healing, including high-degree ghosts, that I have received. And healing has been ongoing. In the beginning, I was not very supported. So this is a whole the title of my piece is Putting Myself Back Together. So, and it's a representation of a whole, foible human who is making choices to be conscious and connected, and participating in hungry growth in place, as well as all my therapies. It's just a path of self and ancestral discovery that allows me to flow from unconscious and unknowing to the beginnings of conscious and understanding and conscious choices. And this piece was really interesting. I've never done art that just came to me like this. This is the first part of the piece. It actually represents my throat chakra, and it came to me in a dream. And the dreams that I normally have are really long and winding, as dreams often are. When I began dreaming during this class, it was no surprise I had my repeated lifetime nightmare of being chased by something large and menacing to my death off ledges and rooftops. I had over the years learned to control this dream, and often during this class, in a lucid state, I finally had the courage to ask myself, why don't you stop running and turn around and face the monster? Really? I can turn around and face this monster? This menace that has chased me and essentially annihilated me continuously since I was about 7? Face a monster that has haunted and stolen my sleep for a lifetime? Well, okay then. I stopped and slowly turned around. And what I saw instead of a monster about to kill me was my mother and my grandmother and my great-grandmother. And the lineage went on and on, generation after generation, weaving into a long and beautiful matriarchal line of women through the centuries, until I came upon a table at the origins of time and space with an aboriginal in the middle of a desert. I was offered tea and a chat. No words were spoken, and for the first time in my life, I felt fully seen, accepted, loved, and supported in all my vulnerabilities and foibles. I felt totally internally and universally connected. I could barely hold this. It was like floating in a boundless sea of unconditional love. I wept like a baby, not dramatically, but with humility and awe. The tears were healing. Time passed, and we sat in each other's presence, sipping between the tears. And finally, I was told it was time to go home to celebrate life in real time and the fact that I am still alive. And at this point, I am so relaxed and embodied. A somatic ignition begins. My midline is electrified and connected to the universe. I am healed of my original separation from Source. I am falling or waking, coming apart or together. A blinding golden white light is bursting through my core in every direction. Kintsugi. I suddenly wake into this overwhelm of love and connection. I would like to say, in the next part of my life, I awoke and walked fully, consciously, and healed from all my physical and emotional wounds. But alas, I am human. I still hurt both physically and emotionally, foiled and prone to all human emotions as I catch up to this dream. The true shift that has happened is knowing I am universally supported. I have never had the nightmare again. This dream was the ignition for the self-portrait kintsugi, the Japanese art of putting broken pottery back together with gold, a metaphor for embracing your flaws and imperfections. And honestly, I thought that was going to be my piece for this show, my throat chakra, representing all the ways I can and cannot communicate in the world, but it wasn't. I'm a hiker. I like to be in nature a lot. So I was walking one day, and I don't know, I tripped over this log, essentially. And this log, I don't know, it was so beautiful. It was like raining, it was late winter, and the way that the log is, it's like represents my back. And my mom was actually hunchback as well. She had osteoporosis, so it was kind of like a mode. And I asked if I had permission to take this, and I came home and I had another dream about this piece, and it just all came together. And so then that came in, and then this piece came to me. Actually, this piece is an ongoing piece. I had a bunch of dreams around this piece, but let's just say this is my first chakra, and it's just a grounding piece. But there's still a lot of work to be done. There's lots of trauma. It's a little bit, you can't quite see in it. It's a little bit, got a little mystery in it. And then this is just my grounding piece. And then the birdhouse I found at Goodwill, so it's just to represent the spirit and going up. And it's hilarious. I walked into Goodwill and it's got a cross on it, and it's a birdhouse. and then this whole concept of the snake weaving through in all of my dreams, kind of it's been like this really interesting kundalini, really sexy, wonderful way of coming together from the earth to the spirit, and just really embracing. So this self-portrait to me is a representation of the whole foiled human who's making choices to be conscious and connected. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody here. I mean, the museum, Cynthia, Tom for 100 Goes in Place. I don't know where I would be without all the support. All of the artists here, I'm so humbled. They are so amazing. If you get a chance, please talk to all of them. Maggie Yee, who and Irene are doing so much work for us as women to come into our own and stand our places and to just heal on a way that therapy just wouldn't do it. This is just the most beautiful way of taking responsibility for your brokenness and putting it into art and into things that are beautiful. So thank you.